We are all changing all the time. It is the very nature of existence. So why do some people seem to be changing more than others? Why are some people changing for the better while others are changing for the worse? And more importantly, how do we take control of the change in our life and decide where it goes? These are the questions that have plagued me since I was young, because I remember a time in my life where I was changing for the worse every day, and I felt like I had no control. I was a teenager, and I had started to become depressed for reasons I didn't understand. Started failing my classes, started smoking cigarettes. I quit my sports teams, fought with my friends and my family. And this was particularly distressing to my mom. She would come into my room every night and ask me questions like, "Why are you unhappy? How can I help?" And mostly because I didn't know the answer, I would just brush her off. And then one night she came in and she asked me something. She said, "Charlie, what is going to become of your life?" And I will never forget what I said. I told her, "I'm going to grow up and be a failure." And I cried harder than I had ever cried that night, because when I said it, I believed it. I believed that there was nothing I could do to change my future. My mom disagreed, and after exhausting a long list of options, she made the hard and drastic decision to send me across the country to a wilderness rehabilitation center in rural West Virginia on the side of a mountain in the Appalachian Mountains. It was a community of similarly emotionally unstable teenagers. And there was a lot of things I learned there, but there was one thing we did every day that really stuck with me. Every morning we would come together as a community, and we would pick one virtue we were going to work on that day. Today, I'm going to work on love. Today, I'm going to work on forgiveness, on mindfulness, on patience. And then we would go about our day as we normally would, and at the end of each day, we would come back together as a community, and we would hold each other accountable. And it went as well as you would expect a community of emotionally unstable teenagers to take it. You said you were going to be mindful today, and you ate all the peanut butter at lunch. You said you were working on forgiveness, and you cursed me out when I knocked your cup over. You said you were going to work on love, and you told me you hated me today. It's a little harsh, but direct and honest. There was a kid there. We'll call him Nick. No one liked Nick. He was inauthentic, insincere. He would fly off the handle and act out in ways just to draw attention to himself. It's very off-putting to the other members of the community. And the leaders weren't blind to this. And in an effort to help Nick change, they sent him back to the beginning of the program, a part called the wilderness. We had all been through it. You basically live under a tarp. If it snows, you're cold. If it rains, you get wet. It's the kind of place that teaches you to appreciate all the things we take for granted every day. And when Nick made it back to the community, it was a celebration, a ceremony. And part of it was getting assigned a mentor from the community. And when Nick found out who his mentor was, he flew off the handle and stormed out of the room. And we all knew Nick hadn't changed. So 2 weeks later, I'm hammering nails, I'm shingling this roof in the community, and it's the middle of July. It's hot, it's uncomfortable, and I find myself in this state of enjoyment. And it's because I'm talking to Nick. And he's being sincere and humble about where he is. And he seemed like the same person, but I could just tell something was a little bit different. And the reason this stands out to me so much is it's one of those rare moments where you actually get to see change happen. Because the truth about change, you don't get to see it. If you go to the gym every day, you don't seem any stronger one day to the next. Eating a salad's not going to help you lose 5 pounds. If you're trying to save money to get rich, it's not going to happen in a month or a year. And that's what makes change hard, is we never get to see the gratitude in any single day. But it also introduces this dilemma. Because we can't see change when it's happening, sometimes we believe we're changing for the better when really we're changing for the worse. I have this cousin. We'll call him Jay. Jay is developing into a young man. He is smart and caring. He loves his family and his friends. And if you were to ask him, is there a goal in your life that you're working towards right now? He would say yes. But if you look at where he is now versus where he was 6 months ago, he's in a worse place now. And if you look a year ago, the change is even more drastic. See, the hardest part about change is acknowledging that we have to do it. Admitting to ourselves that the actions we're doing are not going to lead us to where we want to go. Someone asked me the other day if I'd ever figured out why I was depressed when I was younger. As much as I would have hated to admit it at the time, all I ever wanted was to make my parents proud. And every time I failed or I let them down, it was easier to say that it was some fundamental part of me that I couldn't change than acknowledge the mountain of change I was going to have to overcome to be happy. And when we acknowledge how much we have to do, we get this deep-seated sense of anxiety, like it seems impossible, like there's no reason to even start because it seems wasteful. And I can't think of an organization that approaches this kind of drastic life change like Alcoholics Anonymous. To ask someone who compulsively drinks every day to stop now and quit until the day you die seems like an impossible task. So they ask you not to drink for one day. Just one day. Because we can manage what happens today. And day by day, bad habits are broken. Good habits are started. And habit by habit, we become a little bit richer, a little bit healthier, a little bit better. So I think each of us here should pick one bad habit we have that we want to break, or one good habit that we want to start. And when you go to bed tonight, decide that tomorrow you're going to try. And when you wake up tomorrow morning, let it be the first thing you think about. Look for an opportunity to sacrifice just a little bit to accomplish it. Go to the gym, eat a healthier meal, don't buy something you otherwise would have. Find an opportunity to test your patience. And when you go to bed at night, you have to check yourself. There is no community of emotionally unstable teenagers to call you out. You are truly the only person who can hold yourself accountable. And whether you achieved your goal or not, decide that you're going to try for just one more day. Thank you.